Super Bowl, where legends are born and where the dumbest decisions are forever etched into history. One bad play, one poor decision at the wrong time, and it can destroy an entire season or an entire career. Why didn't the Seahawks hand the ball to Marshawn Lynch? How did the Falcons blow a 28-3 lead? And what about those decisions that made the entire world ask, what the hell were they thinking? Stay until the end, because the worst mistake is always saved for last. And at the very top of this list of catastrophic decisions is the play that left millions of Seahawks fans in absolute disbelief. Super Bowl 49, Seattle Seahawks versus New England Patriots. With under 30 seconds left, Seattle was just 1 yard from glory. They had Marshawn Lynch in the backfield, one of the most powerful and feared running backs in the NFL. The world expected one thing: run the ball. But no. Head coach Pete Carroll and offensive coordinator Darrell Bevell called a pass play right over the middle. And the unthinkable happened. Russell Wilson was intercepted by Malcolm Butler, a virtually unknown cornerback at the time. The Patriots won. The Seahawks lost the championship. And instantly, that decision was labeled the worst play call in Super Bowl history. Seahawks fans erupted in fury, media tore it apart, and nearly a decade later, it's still remembered as the ultimate act of self-destruction. One bad call, and everything vanished. If the Seahawks were a flash of disappointment, the Falcons created a full-blown disaster, an epic collapse no one could forgive. Super Bowl 51. Atlanta Falcons were up 28-3 against the Patriots midway through the third quarter. All they had to do was slow the game down, manage the clock, and ride the win home. But instead of protecting the lead, the Falcons kept attacking, calling unnecessary pass plays that led to sacks, turnovers, and clock stoppages. The Patriots, led by Tom Brady, clawed their way back, point by point. Then, in the first overtime in Super Bowl history, everyone saw it coming. The Patriots completed the comeback, winning 34-28. A team that had victory in its hands collapsed right on the field. And no one forgets the look on Matt Ryan's face, or the meme that will never die: 28-3. It wasn't just a slip-up. It was a failure of strategy and mindset. The Falcons didn't lose to the Patriots. They lost to themselves. Before the Seahawks and Falcons, there was a moment that broke Buffalo's heart with just one missed kick. Super Bowl 25, Buffalo Bills versus New York Giants. A tense, hard-fought game that came down to a single field goal. All hopes rested on kicker Scott Norwood, who had never made a field goal over 40 yards on natural grass. Distance, 47 yards. Just seconds on the clock. The kick went up, millions watched in silence, and it veered wide right. One of the most heartbreaking silences in American sports. Bills lost 20-19. Heads bowed. Fans wept. And Norwood became the face of Buffalo's pain, though he was just one piece of a much larger game. Tragically, that miss marked the beginning of 4 straight Super Bowl losses for the Bills. But the 1991 kick remains the deepest cut, because glory was so close. In the NFL, the line between hero and scapegoat is only inches wide. In 2002, the greatest show on turf, the legendary St. Louis Rams offense, entered Super Bowl 36 as the heavy favorite. They had Kurt Warner, Marshall Faulk, Isaac Bruce, and Torrey Holt, a nearly unstoppable force. But then, the unraveling began. Instead of playing with their usual speed, creativity, and aggression, the Rams went conservative. They looked more afraid of making mistakes than hungry for victory. And that hesitation gave the New England Patriots, the underdogs, a chance to do the impossible. Led by Tom Brady and defensive mastermind Bill Belichick, the Patriots controlled the game with cold, disciplined execution. The Rams fought back too late, tying the game 17-17 late in the fourth. But they left too much time on the clock. Brady moved the Patriots into range, and Adam Vinatieri sealed the win with a clutch field goal. Final score, 20-17. And with that loss, the Rams dynasty faded into history. Sometimes the worst decision isn't a single play, but abandoning the very identity that made you great. Super Bowl 38, Carolina Panthers versus New England Patriots. A thrilling game with 4 scores in the final 4 minutes. When Jake Delhomme launched an 85-yard bomb to tie the game 29-29, the Panthers were euphoric. But then came a subtle mistake, one that changed everything. After the touchdown, instead of executing a short kickoff to burn time, Carolina kicked the ball too hard. It flew out of bounds. Touchback. The Patriots got the ball at the 40-yard line with 1 minute and all 3 timeouts. With Tom Brady at quarterback, the ending felt inevitable. He led the drive calmly, step by step, and set up Adam Vinatieri for another iconic field goal, 41 yards. Final score, 32-29. Patriots win. Not because the Panthers played poorly, but because they gave time to a man who never wastes it, Tom Brady. In the Super Bowl, you're not just playing your opponent, you're fighting the clock. The Super Bowl is the grandest stage, where glory and heartbreak are just one decision apart. From the Seahawks' refusal to run, to the Falcons' collapse, to the infamous wide right, each mistake is burned into NFL history. These teams didn't lose because they were worse, they lost because they self-destructed in their biggest moment. And the scariest part? Mistakes like these can always happen again. Like, share, and subscribe because more mysteries from the NFL are still waiting to be uncovered.